engage the BIOS. Use the right arrow key to select the Configuration sub-menu. Then select Power and press Enter. Then select Disable Built-in Battery and press Enter. Confirm that the power cord is detached and press Enter. Make sure Yes is selected and press Enter to disable the built-in battery and automatically power off the computer. Cable to the computer. Turn on the computer to automatically enable the battery. Slide, then lift the cover. Press the SIM card to unlock it. Pull the SIM card from the slot. Close the cover. Pull, then lift the cover. Insert the SIM card into the slot until it clicks into place. Close the cover. Loosen the single captive screw from the hard disk drive cover. Grasp the rounded edge of the hard disk drive cover to remove it. Expose, then pull the Mylar tab to slide the hard disk drive from its bay. Slide the hard disk drive into its bay. Press firmly to ensure a proper connection. Tuck the Mylar tape out of the way. Install the hard disk drive cover and secure the captive screw. Screws on the bottom of the system. Turn the system over and open the cover. Carefully slide the keyboard toward the LCD display to free the tabs. Lift the front edge of the keyboard. Turn it over and rest the keyboard gently on the palm rest. Disconnect the keyboard cable from the system board. Disconnect the track point cable from the system board. Remove the keyboard. Lift the front edge of the keyboard support bracket to remove it from the chassis. Connect the track point cable to the system board. Connect the keyboard ribbon cable to the system board. Insert the tabs of the keyboard support bracket into the corresponding slots. Lower the keyboard support bracket. Turn the keyboard over and insert the front edge into place. Lower the keyboard and slide it toward the front. Make sure no tabs are visible. Close the cover and turn the unit over. Install 2 screws into the labeled holes. Press the latches outward on either side of the memory module to release it. Gently pull the memory module from the card connector to remove it. Taking note of the notch, insert the memory module into the connector. Press the card down until it latches. Disconnect the 2 antenna cables. Remove the single retaining screw to raise the card. Pull the wireless mini card from the connection. Insert the wireless mini card into the connection. Install the single retaining screw. Connect the black antenna cable to the jack labeled A or auxiliary on the card. Connect the gray antenna cable to the jack labeled M or main on the card. Remove the single retaining screw. Insert a screwdriver into the screw hole and push to loosen the optical drive in its bay. Grasp and pull the optical drive from the chassis. Insert the optical drive into its chassis bay. Press firmly to ensure a proper connection. Secure it with 1 screw. Disconnect the battery cable from the system board. Uninstall the cable from the cable guides. Pry the backup battery from its adhesive backing. Lower the backup battery into its bracket, adhesive side down, and press into place. Install the cable into the cable guides. Connect the power cable to the system board. Place the unit upside down. Remove the 3 rubber screw caps. Remove 7 screws from the bottom of the chassis. Remove 3 screws from the empty optical drive bay. Turn the system over and open the cover. Remove 1 screw. Disconnect the cables from the system board. Disconnect the cable for the power board. Remove the tape securing the antenna cable. Disconnect the cables for the touchpad. The fingerprint reader. And the speaker cable from the system board. Carefully unsnap the keyboard bezel around the edges and remove it. And lower the keyboard bezel onto the chassis. Make sure the antenna, speaker, and 3 FCP cables are exposed and not pinched. Carefully press down along the edges to snap the keyboard bezel securely into place. Connect the speaker cable to the system board. Connect the FCP cables for the fingerprint reader and touchpad. Connect the power board. Place the antenna cable in the cable guide and secure it with tape. Close the cover and turn the system over. Install 7 screws into the bottom of the chassis. Install the 3 rubber screw caps. Install 3 screws into the empty optical drive bay. Turn the system over and open the cover. Install 1 screw. Turn the keyboard bezel over. Remove 2 screws from the left speaker. And remove 2 screws from the right speaker. Lift the speakers to remove them. Place the speakers onto their guideposts. Secure the left speaker with 2 screws. Secure the right speaker with 2 screws. Lower the keyboard bezel into place. Connect the speaker cable to the system board. Disconnect the USB cable from the media card reader board. Remove the single retaining screw. Lift the board and remove it from the guideposts. And disconnect the card reader cable. Remove the media card reader board. Insert the media reader cable into the connector. Turn the media card reader board over. Insert the connectors into their slots. Lay the media card reader board onto the guideposts. Secure the board with a single screw. Connect the USB cable to the media card reader board. Connect the media reader cable and USB cable into the system board. Install the loose cables into the cable guides on the side of the battery. Disconnect the power cable from the system board. Lift the battery pack up to remove it. Lower the battery pack onto the guide posts. Connect the power cable to the system board. Install the loose cables into the cable guides on the side of the battery. Remove the black antenna cable from the cable guides on the fan. Detach the LCD cable from the system board and move it out of the way. Detach the fan cable from the system board. Loosen the 6 screws in ascending order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Carefully lift up the thermal fan assembly to remove it. Carefully align and lower the thermal fan assembly to the system board screw mounts. Install the spring screws in ascending order. Screw number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and screw number 6. Insert the antenna cable into the cable guide attached on top of the fan assembly. Attach the LCD cable to the system board and insert it into the cable guide. Connect the thermal fan assembly cable to the system board. Disconnect the DC-in connector cable from the system board. Disconnect the 2 media reader cables from the system board. Remove the 2 mounting screws securing the system board to the chassis. Carefully lift the system board up from the guide posts and away from the chassis. Carefully lower and align the system board to the mounting holes and guide posts. Install the 2 mounting screws securing the system board to the chassis. Connect the DC-in connector cable to the system board. Connect the 2 media card reader board cables to the system board. Disconnect the DC-in connector from the system board. Lift the DC-in connector out of the chassis bracket. Insert the DC-in connector into the chassis bracket. Install the cable into the cable guides. Connect the DC-in connector to the system board. The LCD panel is supported and secure. Remove 1 screw from the left LCD unit hinge. Remove 1 screw from the right LCD unit hinge. Carefully lift the LCD unit from the chassis. Lower the LCD unit hinges into their chassis brackets. Make sure the weight of the LCD panel is supported. Install 1 screw on the left LCD unit hinge. Install 1 screw on the right LCD unit hinge. And your fingers, carefully unsnap the LCD bezel from the cover and remove it. sure the cables are fed through the hinges. Place the LCD bezel onto the LCD cover assembly. Make sure the cables are not pinched. Carefully press the LCD bezel onto the cover assembly, working around the edges until it snaps securely into place. Carefully pry the integrated camera from the securing clips. Disconnect the cable to remove the camera card. Connect the cable to the camera card. Insert the camera card edge under the clip nearest the LCD panel. Align the camera with the guidepost and press the card into the bracket clips. Remove the 3 screws securing the hinge to the cover assembly. Remove the hinge. Repeat for the other hinge if needed. Place the hinge into the brackets on the cover assembly. Make sure the cables are routed through the hinge and not pinched. Install the 3 screws securing the hinge to the cover assembly. Securing the LCD panel to the back cover. Lift and carefully turn the LCD panel over. Peel back the adhesive tape and detach the LCD cable from the connector. Carefully place the LCD panel face down on a clean, flat surface. Connect the LCD cable and attach the adhesive tape firmly. Make sure the metal connector is secure. Turn the LCD panel over and place the LCD panel onto the cover. Make sure the LCD panel is seated correctly. Secure with 4 screws. Carefully pry the antenna from the adhesive backing and remove the metal tape. Uninstall the antenna cable from the cable guides. Repeat for the other antenna if needed. Carefully align and attach the antenna with the adhesive backing and apply the metal tape. Install the antenna cable into the cable guides. Repeat for the other antenna if needed. Carefully pry the microphone from the adhesive backing and remove the metal tape. Carefully pry the ThinkLight from its bracket. Peel and lift the antenna bracket off of the AV cable assembly. Peel the LED from the adhesive backing. Remove the cable from the cable guides. Carefully align the microphone with the chassis brackets and guideposts. Press the microphone into place and apply the metal tape. Carefully press the ThinkLight into its brackets. Align and press the LED onto the adhesive backing. Align and press the antenna bracket into place, and cover the AV cable assembly as the metal tape is pressed into place. Install the cable into the cable guides.